Hello, and welcome to E.M.A.N. Effectively Making a Noise. Today's story is Gideon Destroys the Altar of Baal. Gideon destroys the altar of Baal, and it's coming from Judges chapter 6, verse 25 through verse 40. And we'll be right back. If you need a cake for a birthday party or an event or special occasion, call Andrea Patton at Cake by Top Notch. She makes cakes for any occasion and for all ages. These cakes can be customized to exactly what you need it to look like and the message that you need to send. So call Andrea at 931-446-4576 and put your order in for your custom cakes. You can also messenger her on Facebook under Andrea Top Notch Pattern and to also get photos of her work. That's again Andrea Patton, Caked by Top Notch. And our story starts that same night after the angel had appeared to Gideon at the oak of Ophrah. The Lord spoke again to Gideon and commanded him to pull down the altar of Baal, which Josiah his father had erected on his own property. Apparently, Gideon's father was a leader of the people in the idolatrous worship. Since God had called Gideon to deliver Israel from the oppression of the Midianites, the people had to be recalled to worship and serve the true God of Israel. Hence, the Lord said to Gideon, "Take your father's young bullock, which is an ox or a young steer, the second bullock 7 years old, and throw down the altar of Baal, which your father has, and cut down the grove of trees that is next to it. In its place you are to build an altar to the Lord your God upon the top of this rock, with stones laid in their proper order. Then take the second bullock and offer it as a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the trees with which you shall cut down." So Gideon at once took 10 of his men servants and did as the Lord commanded him. Because he feared his father's household and the men of the city too much to do it openly in the daytime, Gideon did it secretly by night. When the men of the city arose early the next morning, they saw that the altar of Baal had been thrown down, and that the grove of trees beside it had been cut down. They also saw the new altar which had been built, and the offering which had been laid upon it. And they said to one another, "Who has done this?" And when they had inquired and made search, they declared, "Gideon, the son of Joash, has done this thing." Then the men of the city demanded of Joash, "Bring out your son, so that he may die, because he has thrown down the altar of Baal and cut down the grove of trees that was next to it." But Joash, realizing that God was working through his son, boldly replied, "Will you take sides with Baal? Will you plead his cause? Whoever takes sides with him, let him be put to death while it is still morning. If Baal is a god, let him plead for himself, because his altar has been thrown down." Therefore, on that day, Gideon was called Jerubbaal, which means "let Baal plead against him," because Gideon had thrown down the altar of Baal. At this time, the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of the east came together and crossed the Jordan and pitched camp in the valley of Jezreel. Whereupon the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet, and the Abiezrites came together to follow him. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, and they too came together to follow him. He also sent messengers to Asher, to Zebulun, and to Naphtali, and they went up to meet them. Gideon asked God to show him a sign, and Gideon said to the Lord, "If you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said, behold, I will put a fleece of wool on the threshing floor." A fleece of wool is a coat of a sheep. "If there is dew on the fleece only, and it is drowned all the ground beside it, then I shall know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said." God heard Gideon's prayer and answered it. When Gideon rose early the next morning and twisted the fleece, He squeezed enough dew from it to fill a bowl of water. Then Gideon said to God, "Let not your anger be hot against me, and I will speak but this once. Let me make a test, I pray you, just once more with the fleece. This time let it be dry only on the fleece. On the ground let there be dew." And God did as Gideon requested that night, for it was dry on the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground. So Gideon knew that the Lord was with him, and God would give his people the victory over their oppressors. And oppressors being those who rule in a cruel way. And this is the end of our story. And we don't have an extra, but I do want to read my ad again. And it is, if you need a cake for a birthday or event or special occasion, call Andrea Patton at Caked by Top Notch at 931-446-4576 and put your order in for a regular cake or a custom cake. These cakes are made to order and customized for any ages. You can also messenger her on Facebook under Andrea Top Notch Patton. Again, Caked by Top Notch. 931-446-4576. And this is the end of our story today. Hope you have a good day. Hope it's been blessed and safe. Peace.